Luxembourg may be one of the smallest countries in Europe, but despite its size, it has a lot to offer. For 2 days, I ate in and explored Luxembourg City, where I saw some jaw-dropping sights, visited fascinating museums, and enjoyed some incredible food. My trip to Luxembourg was a good one indeed. Today I'm here at my very old school hotel room in Cologne, Germany, but tomorrow is where the real excitement comes because I'll be going to a brand new country for me. I'll be going to Luxembourg. Now, I've really had a great time here in Germany. After Frankfurt, I spent a couple of nice days in Dusseldorf, and then I hopped over here to Cologne, which has been fantastic. But the show must go on, and I want to see new things. Honestly, I don't know too much about Luxembourg. I know that it's a small country, I know that it's a rich country, and most importantly, I know they have the Michelin Guide. Hopefully with my trip, I'll learn a bit more about Luxembourg, have some fun times, but right now, I gotta get ready for tomorrow. I've got an early train ride. I hope I got the right tickets. I got a transfer, so I'm a little nervous about that. We will see, but tomorrow is Luxembourg. Upon arriving to Cologne's train station, I picked up a pain au chocolat and an espresso, which I enjoyed while waiting for my train, but I was soon able to board. It was bound for Basel, Switzerland, but my ride was only around 50 minutes since I was transferring at Koblenz. It was a pleasant journey, except for a group of lads knocking back a cooler of morning beers, but like I said, it was thankfully a short trip. Upon arriving at Koblenz, I had about a 20-minute wait until my next train, which would take me straight to Luxembourg. It wasn't the most comfortable train ride as there wasn't any luggage storage, but I made the best of it by reading and admiring the gorgeous views as I was whisked through the Moselle Valley. After a bit over 2 hours, I made it to my destination. I have made it to Luxembourg, my 37th country. The plan now is to drop my bag off at the hotel and then lunch. After briefly admiring Luxembourg's train station, I made my way to my hotel, which was nearby, the ibis Styles Luxembourg Centre Gare. Alright, pleasant change of plans. I was actually able to check in early into my hotel. My room looks adequate. I think it will perfectly suit me for my stay here for 2 days. It's modern, clean. Yeah, I don't have any complaints. For lunch, I'm gonna check out this baked potato sort of restaurant. It seems like you get a potato and you can put whatever toppings you want on it. It looks good, it's got good reviews, and it looks quick because I don't want to be spending my time stuck in a restaurant during daylight hours. I want to be exploring this new city. So with that being said, let's head to lunch, finally. After dropping off my stuff, I headed out for lunch. The views on the way to the restaurant were absolutely spectacular. In fact, it took me a lot longer than I thought it would to make it to lunch since I kept stopping every 10 seconds to take another damn picture. Plain and simple, Luxembourg is beautiful. Finally, I made it to my dining destination, Kumpir The Happy Potato. As the name implies, the restaurant serves kumpir, which is a Turkish street food that is basically a large baked potato filled with a hell of a lot of stuff. For €12.50, I was allowed to add whatever I wanted, and I took advantage. Dude, this is insane. I will not be going hungry after this. I topped my potato with whatever looked good, and almost everything in the restaurant looked pretty good. I chose a variety of meats, vegetables, and cheese. I was very excited to give that dish a try, and I wasn't disappointed. That is tasty, that is comforting, and that is just plain delicious. I am loving it. To put it simply, that potato hit the spot, and to be enjoying it outside in a beautiful brand new city and country for me equated to be a very satisfying lunch. That was one hell of a potato, but now it is afternoon coffee time. For my caffeine hit, I didn't travel very far. Right around the corner from the restaurant is an establishment that is literally called The Coffee. The cafe is a Japanese-inspired coffee chain that has locations in a number of countries. I decided to get a double shot of espresso and a chocolate chip cookie. That espresso really hit the spot and was just what I needed. The cookie, on the other hand, was good, but nothing special. Regardless, that was a nice break, and after finishing, I got back to exploring Luxembourg. The first site I visited is perhaps the most notable and one of the most historic churches in the city, Notre Dame Cathedral. It was constructed between 1613 and 1621, and it was indeed beautiful inside. Although I certainly saw more grand churches over my previous week in Germany, I nevertheless enjoyed checking out that cathedral, which is in fact the only cathedral in Luxembourg. Next, I went to what is likely the most prominent tourist site in the city, the Casemates du Bock. The area is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's basically a subterranean defense system made up of numerous tunnels. They were initially carved back in the 17th century under Spanish rule, and at later points they were extended. I certainly found the site fascinating, but I was most intrigued by the views. My goodness, these views are unreal, just absolutely stunning. As a result of the beautiful scenery, I took a countless number of photos. Luxembourg is truly gorgeous. Besides the various vistas, the maze of tunnels were also interesting, even though some of them seemed to lead to nowhere. Overall, I had a great time at the Bock Casemates. After finishing, I really just stuck to and explored that area, as there were numerous viewpoints and photo opportunities. The combination of the city's architecture, the hills, and the fact that it was fall during my visit, which resulted in trees filled with color, made for some of the most stunning vistas I saw during my trip. As the sun set, there was even a bit of pink in the sky. Plus, I also saw some bats flying about, which was fitting considering that it was Halloween. Oh my goodness, is this view incredible or what? Since those caves, I've been taking photo after photo. It is just incredible. Plus, when the sun set, there was a bit of pink in the sky, and I just had those magical travel feels. It was a special moment indeed. So now I'm gonna go back to the hotel, regroup, and figure out a place for dinner. I decided to check out Bazaar for dinner. It's a Mediterranean and Middle Eastern inspired restaurant that even has a Michelin Bib Gourmand. Inside, Bazaar has a lively atmosphere, and their menu is filled with a variety of influences that range from Greece to Lebanon. In terms of beverages, I thought that it was only right to get a wine from Luxembourg, so I got a glass of the 2020 Domaine Laguille Pinot Blanc. The wine was decent, it was very drinkable, and had a bit of acidity. With my beverage, I was also given some popcorn to snack on before my order arrived, but it wasn't long until I was presented with my food. The first dish that I selected was the Jaffa cauliflower. The course consisted of fried cauliflower, tahini, zug, and pomegranate. It was a pleasant creation. Now, I would have preferred a bit more char on the cauliflower, but I nevertheless enjoyed it. My other dish, however, was the highlight of the meal. It was the pork belly simo. It consisted of slow-cooked pork belly with mashed potatoes, barbecue sauce, and copa chips. that course was excellent. The pork belly was nice and tender, plus I loved the savory crispiness from the copa chips. Overall, that was a very satisfying first dinner in Luxembourg. After finishing, I was presented with the bill, which totaled to 49 euros, but with my tip, I spent 54. With that day's particular conversion rate, my meal set me back $62.53. Back at my hotel, that was a solid dinner. I really enjoyed that. This day overall has been fantastic. I had good food, good coffee, and saw some amazing scenery. Today truly ticked all the boxes for me. Now I'm just gonna wind down, do some planning for tomorrow, maybe shower and shave. I really need it, but so far Luxembourg has been awesome and I can't wait to see what tomorrow has in store. It was my final day in Luxembourg and I wanted to make the most of it. Like every day, however, it started with coffee. I went to Bloom, which wasn't too far from my hotel, and it proved to be a cozy and comforting spot. For my breakfast, I got a latte, which was well made and gave me the caffeine hit I needed. To eat, I got a lemon blueberry blondie, which proved to be fresh, tasty, and an overall pleasant treat. I also relaxed with a book. I read Glamorama by Bret Easton Ellis, which was such a crazy novel, and even though the story was all over the place, I did enjoy it. After breakfast, I went back to my hotel. I'm back in my hotel room for a brief break. Today could be complicated because it's actually a holiday. It's All Saints' Day. Subsequently, a lot of the museums and sights to see are unfortunately closed. I'm not happy about this, and in a situation like this, I would just adjust and try to do outdoor things because, Luxembourg is a very scenic place. I had so much fun taking pictures of the landscapes yesterday, but unfortunately, it's also raining. Yeah, this isn't ideal, but I do think that the Modern Art Museum is at least open, I hope, and hopefully this rain isn't too hard and maybe I can still get some pictures outside. Now, I'm not sure how this holiday will affect restaurants. Hopefully, the ones I want to will be open. I was so glad that the coffee shop I wanted to go to was open today, so we'll see with that. And with that being said, I'm off to an early lunch. For lunch, I kept things simple. I went to Luxorino, which is a casual establishment that offers a menu of sandwiches that stem from various cuisines. I decided to go with the Brazarino sandwich, which was Brazilian inspired. The dish consisted of pistachio mortadella, mozzarella, and shoestring potatoes. Now that was a satisfying sandwich. All the ingredients were in the right proportions, the meat was nice and savory, while the focaccia-like bread was nicely toasted. Overall, I was satisfied with my lunch, which set me back €11.90. After finishing, I began to explore the city, but the weather wasn't the best. However, even on a gray, rainy day, Luxembourg still proved to be a stunning place. After a bit of wandering, I found a basic souvenir shop and bought a few things. Then I spotted a coffee shop, and considering how cold I was, coffee sounded perfect. The establishment was called Curious Bud's Specialty Coffee. I got a double espresso, which was indeed a great shot, which helped revitalize me. I also got a sea salt chocolate chip cookie, which was just taken out of the oven and I couldn't resist. In fact, no one else could either, as everyone else behind me in line seemed to buy one too. As expected, that was a fine, warm and fresh, gooey chocolate chip cookie. Soon enough, I was back on the streets of Luxembourg, heading to one of the only attractions that was open during the holiday, the Mudam Museum of Modern Art, but of course, I got a bit sidetracked. It's hard to get anywhere in Luxembourg. I just keep stopping and getting distracted because I just feel the need to take a photo with all these amazing vistas. It's going to take me forever to get to the art museum, but I'm not too upset about it, even though this rain sucks. My walk to the museum was a scenic one indeed. I crossed over the Grand Duchess Charlotte Bridge, which is also known as the Red Bridge. Near the art museum was a historic fort that was unfortunately closed, but it was still nice to look at from the outside. Finally, I purchased a ticket and began touring the Luxembourg Museum of Modern Art. Yeah, there were some strange creations in that institution, and to be honest, if it wasn't a holiday, that wouldn't have been the first place I would have gone. Now, having said that, I still had an enjoyable experience at the museum. For one thing, it was so nice to be inside, away from the rain and cold, and the art was unique. While it wasn't exactly my style of art, a lot of it was at least thought-provoking, entertaining, and interesting. To sum it up, my experience at Luxembourg's Museum of Modern Art was a good one. So that was an interesting museum. Now, some things were a little strange, but I was amused nevertheless. Plus, it felt good to get out of the rain and cold. Even though it's not raining anymore, it is still cold. Also, I'm just grateful that that museum was open when it seems like everything else is closed because of the holiday. Anyway, it's about time for dinner, and I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go, but there was this one pizza place. It does sound good. Maybe I'll give that a try. At the same time, we'll see. Before I stopped at a restaurant, I did a bit of exploring. Eventually, I decided to get not pizza, but tacos. I paid a visit to O Tacos, a French fast food chain founded in 2010. There are locations all over France and internationally as well. Their tacos are a bit different as they're more like wraps. I decided to go with the XL O Classic with a side of fries and samurai sauce. It actually took a while for me to get my order. O Tacos may be a fast food restaurant, but it wasn't fast. Finally, after almost 20 minutes, I received my dinner. The taco was okay. It was stuffed with components like chicken nuggets, melted cheddar, and fries. It definitely tasted like fast food. I'm glad I tried it, but I regret ordering such a large portion. Frankly, I got bored of eating it. The fries were okay as well, but nothing special. The sauce at least added a bit of zing to them. To sum things up, at least I didn't leave hungry. Back at the hotel, so O Tacos was alright. It wasn't anything special, but at the end of the day, it is a fast food restaurant. Anyways, that pretty much marks the end of my Luxembourg adventure, because tomorrow morning I will be taking the train to Paris, which I'm very excited about, but Luxembourg has been special. I really enjoyed my time here. Luxembourg is more than just a tiny little country to check off a list. It is truly beautiful. Especially at this time, I feel so lucky to be here during the fall. Honestly, some of those autumn landscapes were the most spectacular that I've ever seen. To sum it up, Luxembourg is a great place, and I hope to one day return, but for now, onwards to Paris.